So I just sold my 2018 Ram 3500 to a company called RumbleOn that I found advertising on Facebook. And in this video, I'm going to tell you kind of what that process was like. I bought this truck in the middle of 2018, and it has averaged a breakdown about every 4,000 miles. From overheating just a few days after I bought it while we were picking up hay bales.
Just a handful, over 100 bales on the back, and we've been out here for what? Call it an hour we've been out here. And in that time, this thing says it hit 242 degrees.
To a depth sensor problem, to a key transponder that failed. Then there was a broken wire under the door. You need a new truck, they said. Go buy a diesel, they said. It'll tow better. It'll be more reliable. You won't have these problems. And then there was a check engine light for an airbox problem. The first 19,000 miles I've had with this truck have just not been what I'm looking for in a vehicle ownership experience. So I decided to get rid of it. Now, I did what most people do and advertised it myself first. I listed this truck for 42,500 miles with 19,000 miles on it and didn't have much luck. I listed it in 3 places. I put it on Normie Book, Craigslist, and Auto Trader, and of those 3, the only one that was worth listing it on was Auto Trader. But that shouldn't come as a surprise because Auto Trader actually charges you to list on their site, unlike Facebook and Craigslist, which are free and, well, you get what you pay for. After not having much luck selling this thing privately, I decided to try Carmacks.
It's Saturday morning of Memorial Day weekend. I don't know what the exact date is. I think it's like the 24th or 25th of May, something right in there. And we're in the Ram. We're in the 2018 3500 heading down I-25 south here to Loveland, Colorado, because we are going to Carmacks, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we're leaving Carmacks, so let me talk to you a little bit about the experience, tell you how it went. Overall, it was actually really smooth, really simple, really nice. I came down, got here a little after 9. They opened, today is a Saturday, they open at 9. I got here about 20-30 minutes after they opened. I was the first appraisal in line. I didn't have an appointment, but I went in, I met the lady. Everybody is super nice. So they did the appraisal on the truck. While they were doing that, I sat and talked with Ed, the representative. Ed is a really cool guy, so we chatted for like half an hour while they, you know, their appraiser came out and looked at the truck and did his thing, and everything's fine with it and everything's great. And their offer, drum roll please, is right here. I hope you guys can see that, but if you can't, that is $36,000. I'm not gonna take that offer. That's that's not gonna happen. I understand why their offer is that low. They don't deal in big trucks, so this thing would never sit on their lot. This would go straight to an auction. And, you know, knowing that they're not gonna make any profit off of it at an auction, they're not gonna make any profit off of me buying another car from them. So I can see why they bid it as cheap as they bid it. I also did the Kelly Blue Book We Will Buy Your Vehicle thing, and they actually offered me $39,000. They offered me $3,000 more than Carmacks did.
In addition to Carmacks, Kelly Blue Book also has a dealer program where you can sell your vehicle to them. So I went through their process and got a pretty okay offer compared to what Carmacks offered me. And, well, before I could follow up on that, I saw these people called RumbleOn advertising over on Facebook, and I figured, what the heck, let's give that a shot too. All right, the truck driver just called to pick this thing up, so before we load this up and let it go into someone else's possession, I just want to do a real quick walk around and show you that it is in good shape. There are no problems. And while we're looking at the truck, I'll tell you guys what it was like to sell this thing to RumbleOn from Facebook. Now, this is not a sponsored video. This is not a promotional video for them. This is just me sharing my experience as a guy who just needed to get rid of a truck.
The process starts out really simply. You go to their website, they have you put in some details about the truck, they have you put in your VIN number, and one thing that I liked that they did that Kelley Blue Book didn't do is RumbleOn had a place for you to upload photos, and with this being a flatbed truck, I really appreciated that, because I could see how a lot of places might just assume it's going to have a pickup box and dual fenders and all that stuff and then show up to a flatbed and it's not what you expected. So the fact that I could upload pictures, I really, really liked. They made me an offer, I accepted it, and this is when things kind of hit a road bump. They say payment is sent overnight once you accept the offer. Well, that turns into payment takes 3 business days. And somehow or another, in my case, it took 7 business days for me to receive my money, but it only took 3 business days for their transport company to start calling me trying to come pick up the truck. If there was one part of this whole process that I really didn't appreciate, it's not a big deal, but at the same time, it was a little bit annoying to have people calling me trying to come pick up the truck when I hadn't been paid yet. Now, it appears RumbleOn just hires independent trucking companies or independent drivers to pick their vehicles up when they buy them. So I can't really blame the drivers that were calling me. You know, they just seen this load dispatched and were trying to get it done. Where I get a little frustrated is they should not have dispatched this vehicle as ready for pickup until they had paid for it. Again, certainly not a huge issue. You know, I just had to explain to the drivers when they called me, hey, it hadn't been paid for yet. It's not going anywhere until a check shows up. And, you know, every time I had to explain that, the drivers were professional about it and said, oh, okay, we'll report it back to our office. Unfortunately, I had to go through like 3 of those phone calls before the check had actually arrived and we could actually go load this thing and let it go. And that's what we're going to do right now.
Got a little over a quarter tank of fuel, about 78 miles worth. 19,341 miles on the truck.
Starts right up and works.
For now.
This thing averages a breakdown.
This truck averages a breakdown every 4,000 miles, having had 4 of them in the first 16,000 miles, 3 of which required towing assistance. Thank God in Greyhound you're gone. Thank God in Greyhound you're gone.
Overall, I would say my experience with RumbleOn wasn't bad, but wasn't perfect. You know, the payment being delayed as long as it was a little bit frustrating, especially when I had trucking companies that were trying to pick up the truck at the same time. That was just mildly annoying, but at the end of the day, it's not really a big deal. Everything does get sorted out if you give it enough time, and it was a whole lot less hassle and less headache than selling this thing on Craigslist or Facebook. Because I listed it in both of those places and got a ton of offers. Nobody serious enough to drive out and look at it, but more people that you could count that would take 30 seconds and just send a message saying, I'll give you 30,000 or 35,000 or 36,000, which, I mean, RumbleOn paid better than that. So even though it wasn't quite perfect, given the other options, I would definitely do this again.
So if you're wondering what I'm going to do now, the answer is what it has been, my 97 F-250. Yes, I am looking for another truck. I am looking for an F-550, either a 7.3 or if I can find it, maybe a 6.7, but I'm probably going to go with the 7.3. That's just going to take a little bit of time to come across. So we're going to keep relying on the 97 like we have been. I got to be honest with you, this is my absolute favorite truck that I've ever owned. But we'll talk more about that in another video coming up real soon. We do still have the 2014 Ram 2500, and this thing has been a major undertaking. This truck has been a maintenance nightmare. It has had so many breakdowns and problems in the last few months, which is part of why I got rid of that 3500. Not only were we off to not so great of a start, but this thing now has 160,000 miles and has needed a ton of work in the last 30,000, including a turbo job that you guys are going to see real soon. So if you want to see that stuff, go ahead and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and more later.